Perfect. All right, guys, we will get started. I'm Sue. Nice to meet you, Angie. So put our feet together here. We will actually start in reclined butterfly today. So putting your soles of your feet together, opening your legs wide to the edges of the mat, and just leaning on back. So coming onto your back here. You can close your eyes. Your hands can go on your abdomen. You could place them by your side. You could place them on your thighs to open out your legs a little bit if you want more of a stretch. Or if you like, you can even raise them above your head if you want more of a shoulder stretch in this position. We always start our yoga class in stillness. So this is just to kind of release any tension in your body. So as you lay here, focus on your breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling your stomach fill up as you inhale. And exhale to release. So today's class, we will focus on the fifth yama, which are restraints in yoga. So it's Aparigraha, which means non-hoarding. So a lot of times we may hoard things, which is natural, since obviously Hoarders, the TV show exists. But this is about just letting go. So sometimes if you feel your body doesn't agree, that maybe you're trying to hoard all your energy or hoard possessions, whatever it is, just let it go today. And focus on your breathing. So a lot of times we hoard our breath when we're holding poses. So we'll take a couple breaths together. So inhaling through the nose, feeling your chest and your lungs fill up with air, feeling your belly fill up with air. And exhale through the mouth slowly, feeling everything deflate slowly from your stomach all the way to your chest. And one more time, inhaling through the nose, feeling everything fill up with all that breath that you just took in. And open your mouth, releasing that breath. Continue to breathe in and out at your normal pace through your nose, trying to keep your inhales and exhales the same length. And from here, bringing your knees into your chest, giving yourself a big hug. You can rock side to side, releasing any stress in the spine. And then when you're ready, rocking and rolling or slowly coming up, we're going to come into a child's pose here. So keeping your knees together, coming down to the mat, pressing your third eye to the mat. You can bring your hands in front of you, reaching long. Or again, if you want a shoulder stretch, reaching back behind you with the palms facing to the sky. And just take a few breaths here before we start our practice today. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm a fool for your belly. I'm a fool for your love. I wanna make this play. And slowly coming up to a neutral spine in a tabletop position, placing your hands underneath your shoulders. Your knees are underneath your hips. And from here, we'll take a few cat-cow. So inhaling, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze. And exhale, rounding the spine, looking towards the navel, arching your back. Inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, dropping the belly. And exhale, coming to that angry cat. Now take a few more at your own pace, linking that breath to movement. And perhaps it feels good to shake side to side. Just whichever feels good for you today. And we'll meet back in a neutral tabletop. And so from here, you'll reach your right arm long and your left leg, pressing your toes into the mat, stretching it long. So your toes are still on the mat. And feeling that nice calf stretch. From here, lifting your left leg off the mat, coming to our bird dog position. So your right arm and your left foot are parallel to the mat. You can point your toes down by flexing your foot. And from here, you can opt to stay here or just keep your foot on the ground. Or if you want to take a crunch, we'll bring our right elbow to left knee and take a crunch and back out a few times here. Exhale as you crunch it in and release long. And one more time. Dropping your left toes to the mat, feeling that stretch, and releasing your right hand down to the mat, coming back to that tabletop position with your knees underneath your hips. And we'll take that same thing on the other side. So reaching your left arm long and your right toes back to the mat, giving yourself a nice calf stretch here. Feeling that. And when you're ready, or if you want to stay here, you can, lifting off your right leg, bringing your right leg parallel to the mat. So you're in one line from your left fingers all the way to your right toes, keeping your foot flat. And here we'll take a few crunches. Again, we'll take 3 crunches. So bring your knee to elbow. On an exhale, straightening long. Again, bringing them together. Stretching long. Knee to elbow one last time. And coming back to our bird dog and releasing everything back down to the mat. From here, tuck your toes and come up into what could be your first downward dog of the day. You might have done another yoga class today, but maybe you haven't. So as you're in your down dog, look towards your feet and try to find a space between your feet that you can focus on. Whenever you come back to this position, you'll want to keep your focus there. You can walk out your dog. You can wag your dog's tail if that feels good. Whatever feels good for you today. And when you're ready, slowly walking your feet to meet your hands to the top of the mat. Keeping your feet about hip width apart, grabbing each elbow with each hand. We'll take a rag doll, so releasing your head, releasing your neck. You can rock side to side. You can bend one knee, straighten the other, and this will give you a nice hamstring stretch.
Is this sunrise and those brown eyes, yes.
And releasing your hands to the mat, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae to the very top, your headlock to come up. From here, bring your feet together so your toes are touching. Bring your hands by your side, palms facing forward. We'll warm up with a few half suns. So on an inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, palms facing inward. On an exhale, folding forward, releasing down. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back, looking forward. Exhale, releasing down. On an inhale, reverse swan diving your arms back to the sky. And then exhale, bring your hands back to heart and center. So this is a half sun A salutation, just to get us warmed up and familiarize yourself with the sun A salutation. So do that a few more times. So on an inhale, reach your palms up to the sky. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward, reaching for your toes. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back, gaze forward. Exhale, releasing your head, folding forward. Inhale, root to rise, palms to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands back to heart and center. Few breaths. Inhale, bring your hands up to the sky, palms facing inward. Exhale, folding at the hips, folding forward. On an inhale, lift up halfway, hands on your shins, flat back. Exhale, release. On an inhale, root to rise, palms to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. So from here, we'll add on to our sun A, so making it a little bit longer, but we'll follow the same poses for the most part. On an inhale, palms to the sky. And on exhale, folding forward, hinging at the hip. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. On an exhale, we're going to place our hands on the floor and step back to a high plank position. Placing your hands underneath your shoulders. Taking a few breaths here, engaging your core. So feeling that core is your center of gravity. A few breaths here. And bring your knees to the mat. Releasing your toes. On an exhale, bring yourself all the way down to a belly shavasana. Placing your forehead on the mat. Releasing your arms by your side. Taking a few breaths here. Placing your hands underneath your shoulders. On an inhale, we're going to peel up slowly, peeling the chest up. Keeping your feet on the mat, but peeling the chest up into a baby cobra. On an exhale, release. Head to the mat. Inhale, peeling up one more time in a baby cobra. And on an exhale, coming into your downward facing dog. So however you choose to get there. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release and fold forward. On an inhale, root to rise, palms to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. On an inhale, bring your hands to the sky. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward, reaching for your toes. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. And on exhale, coming again to your high plank position. On an inhale, shift forward about an inch. And on exhale, you can bring your elbows to 90 degrees to chaturanga. On an inhale, come up to flipping your toes to upward facing dog. And on an exhale, coming to downward facing dog. So that is our vinyasa. So the chaturanga, up dog, coming to down dog. If at any time you come to that high plank and you don't feel like you want to never push up, you can come straight to downward facing dog. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, palms to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. And we'll go through our sun A salutation one more time. So on an inhale, bring your hands up to the sky. On an exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. On an inhale, hands on your shins, flat back, looking forward. Exhale, stepping to your high plank. And coming for your vinyasa. If you don't feel like doing this, you can always come to downward facing dog, because there are a lot of vinyasas in this class. Take a few breaths here in down dog. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, palms to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. From here, we'll move into modified sun B salutations. So on an inhale, bring your arms up by your ears, sitting back into your invisible chair. So here you should be in almost like a squat position. Your feet are together. You can see your toes underneath your knees. On an exhale, reaching your right arm long, opening your chest to the right side so you have airplane arms. Your gaze can be towards your right hand. Inhaling, bring your hands back to center. And on exhale, releasing your left arm long. So the airplane arms. And inhaling them back to center. Perhaps you sit a little bit lower in your chair today, or perhaps not. You don't want to hoard all the energy if you do have it, so use it wisely. On an exhale, straighten your legs, fold forward. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. On an exhale, stepping back for your vinyasa. So again, you can always come to downward dog and meet us there. Taking a few breaths here. On an inhale, lifting your right leg to the sky to free-legged dog. And on an exhale, open up your right hip, kicking your right foot back to open that up. You can circle your ankle if that feels good. Straighten your leg, coming back to free-legged dog. Hips forward. And on exhale, bring your right foot outside of your right hand, wiggling it forward a little bit. Maybe it's on the edge of the mat a little bit, dropping your left knee to the mat. We're going to come down to gecko pose. So you can stay here. Your foot should be slightly off the mat, outside of your right hand. You can stay here, or if you want a deeper stretch, come down to your elbows. And we'll be here we'll just hold it for about a minute just to get a nice hip opener stretch here. So you should feel this in your hamstrings. If your foot opens out a little bit, that's fine. If it lifts off the mat to open, that sometimes is just your body. It's just a little bit more comfortable that way. So breathing here, making sure your hands are under your shoulders, looking forward. Tucking your left toes back, stepping back for another vinyasa or coming to downward dog, wherever you are today. So we'll take the same on this side as well. So on the left leg, bring the left leg to the sky to free-legged dog. We're gonna kick open the left leg to open the hips here. You can roll out your ankle if that feels good. And when you're ready, bring your hips square, straighten your leg back to free-legged dog. And then bringing your left foot outside your left hand, dropping your right knee to the mat, untucking the toes into gecko on the left side. And again, we'll be here for about a minute. So your left leg should be on the edge of the mat, your left foot, hands underneath your shoulders. So feeling that nice stretch, opening up the hip. Breathing here. Perhaps it feels good. Maybe you went down to your elbows on the other side. If that's an option for you, you can take that here as well. So enjoying the stretch. We have about 20 more seconds. in this. If you're on your elbows, coming back to your hands, tucking your back toes under and stepping back for another vinyasa, or coming straight to downward dog, wherever you are today. Taking a few breaths. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. Bring your feet together. On an inhale, looking up halfway, flat back. Exhale, releasing forward. On an inhale, sweeping your arms up by your ears, sitting back in your invisible chair. On exhale, straighten your legs, bring your hands to heart and center. We'll go for another modified sun V salutation one more time. So on an inhale, sitting back into your invisible chair. Can you sink a little bit lower? Bring your hands to heart and center this time. And we'll take a twisted chair. So we'll hook on our left elbow on our right knee and take a twist. So the goal when you take this twist and you're hooked on is to try to bring your hands to your heart. So not sinking in, trying to keep your chest lifted and feeling that nice twist in your spine, in your thoracic spine. On an exhale, releasing your hands back to center. Bringing your hands right to heart and center and hooking your right elbow to your left knee and taking a twist here. Again, trying to bring your hands to heart and center here. On an exhale, releasing back to your chair pose. Hands by your ears. Sitting maybe a little bit lower. On an exhale, straighten your legs, folding forward, releasing. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. On an exhale, stepping back to your high plank, coming down for your vinyasa. So I told you there's a lot of vinyasas, as they are in every vinyasa class, so always feel free to meet in down dog. On an inhale, bring your right leg to the sky to three-legged dog. On an exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow. Inhale to three-legged dog. On an exhale, right knee to left elbow. Inhale to three-legged dog. And on an exhale, placing your right foot between your hands, dropping your back knee, untucking the toes, inhaling your arms up by your ears into a low lunge. Take a few breaths here. On exhale, bring the hands back down, bring them on either side of your hips, placing your right toes on the mat, the right heel on the mat, coming into a half split. So still keeping your hips over your knees here and feeling again that nice hamstring stretch. We'll take a few breaths here. We'll hold it just for a few seconds. Placing your right foot on the ground, inhaling your arms back up. You might need to readjust into a low lunge. And on exhale, cactus the arms to open the chest. On an inhale, lifting up. Exhale, bring them down by either side of your hips and coming back again into that half split. So straightening your right leg, heel on the mat. Again, feeling that nice stretch. And maybe, it's available to you, you can come into a full split. It's not available to me, but maybe it's available to you. Placing your foot back on the mat, placing your hands on either side of your foot and stepping back for another vinyasa. We're always meeting in downward dog. So on an inhale, lifting your left leg to the sky, the three-legged dog. On an exhale, bring knee to your nose. Inhale to three-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow. Inhale to three-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow. Inhale to three-legged dog. And on exhale, stepping your left foot between your hands, dropping your back knee, untucking your toes, inhaling your arms up into a low lunge. Deep breath here. Don't try to hoard your breath, so try to make sure you're generous with yourself. Bring your hands down to either side of your hip and bring your left heel to the mat. Straighten your left leg to feel that nice hamstring stretch as we come into a half split. You can reach forward if you like. Placing your left foot on the mat, inhaling your arms up, back up into that low lunge. And then exhale, cactus your arms. And inhale, reach up high. And on exhale, bringing them back down to either side of your body. And again, taking that half split on this side again to feel that nice hamstring stretch. Stepping back into your low lunge, arms up. And on an exhale, stepping back for a vinyasa or meeting us in down dog. Bring your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. Feet together. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release your head, fold forward. On an inhale, sitting back into your invisible chair one more time. And on an exhale, hands to heart and center. Straighten your legs. Coming back into Tadasana or mountain pose. So we'll go for our sun bee salutation one more time at a little faster pace. So on an inhale, bring your hands up by your ears, sitting back in your invisible chair. On an exhale, straighten your legs, fold forward. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. And on exhale, stepping back for Vinyasa or meeting us in downward dog. On an inhale, coming up to three-legged dog. And on exhale, bring your right foot between your hands, dropping your back foot, inhaling your arms up by your ears to warrior one, so you're facing the front of the mat. Hips are forward, like headlights. Arms by your ears. On an exhale, bring your hands down to the mat, stepping back for another vinyasa, or coming into downward facing dog. On an inhale, bring your left foot to the sky, to three-legged dog. Exhale, left foot between your hands, dropping your back right foot into warrior one. Inhaling your arms up by your ears. Your front leg is bent. Hips are forward. On an exhale, bring your hands back down. Coming down for another vinyasa. On an inhale, bring your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep your arms up by your ears, back into that chair position. And exhale, releasing your hands to your heart, straightening your legs as we complete our sun bee salutation. On an inhale, reach your palms up to the sky. On an exhale, folding forward, reaching long, bending at the hips. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. On an exhale, stepping back for a vinyasa, or opting to meet in downward facing dog. So no more chair. I know a lot of you love that pose. On an inhale, lifting your right leg to the sky. Exhale, placing your right foot between your hands, flattening your back foot to the mat. And we're gonna inhale our arms back up by our ears into warrior one more time. So as you're in warrior one, making sure your front knee is bent, so your right knee should be in front. Your back foot should be about 85 degrees from the back of the mat, or 45 degrees. Flat on the floor, hips are forward. Exhale to open up your chest and cactus the arms. Inhale, reach up high. Exhale and bring your hands, interlacing them behind your back. Inhaling to open up your chest, and exhale to fold forward and humble your warrior. So you should be folded forward over your right knee. Option to stay here, or if you like, bring your hands to heart and center, and we'll move into a balanced position of warrior three. So bring your hands to heart and center, bending into your front right knee, keeping your hips forward, lifting off your back foot. Your toes should be towards the ground. Hips are like headlights. Your body is in one parallel line from head to your heel. Take a few breaths here. And exhale, bring your left toes back down on the mat. Inhaling your arms up by your ears as we come into our crescent lunge. So you should be on your toes here, on your back left toe. On an exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat, stepping back for another vinyasa, or meeting in down dog. Inhale, lifting your left foot to the sky. On an exhale, bring your left foot between your hands, dropping your back right foot to the mat, inhaling your arms up into warrior one. Again, making sure your hips are squared forward. Front knee is bent. On an exhale, open up the chest, cactus the arms. On an inhale, reaching up high. Strong warrior one. Interlacing your fingers behind your back. On an inhale, opening up the chest, and on an exhale, folding forward, humbling your warrior. And from here, you always have the option to stay here. If you'd like to come into the balanced position of warrior three, you can bring your hands to heart and center. Lifting off your back foot, keeping your hips forward, balancing on your left foot, foot flexed towards the ground. Head to heel is in one line. And exhale, dropping to your back right toes, inhaling your arms up into a crescent lunge. Exhale, bring your hands back to either side of your foot, stepping back for another vinyasa, or opting to meet us in downward dog. And maybe you need a little bit of a break. We'll stay in downward dog for a couple breaths. So perhaps it feels good to get in a wide-legged child's pose. Feel free to take that here. Sun A and Sun B salutations warm up the body, and as we keep moving, it continues to get warm. So just breathing here wherever you are, if you're in child's pose or if you're in downward dog. And no matter where you are, coming to downward facing dog. Walking your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat and slowly rolling on up, one vertebrae at a time. We're going to turn towards the right side of our mat, or the wide side, and opening our legs up wide, the width of the mat. We're going to place our hands on our hips, and we're going to come to a wide-legged forward fold. So making sure your toes are slightly turned out. Inhaling to Lift your head high, feeling something lifting you from the crown of your head. And on exhale, hinging at the hips and folding forward. So from here, you can place your hands on the mat. It may feel good to walk it out a little bit further if you want a deeper stretch. Releasing your head. And we'll take a twist. So grabbing your right ankle with your left hand, lift your right arm up to the sky to take a twist. And releasing your hands back down on the mat, walking over to the left side, left ankle, placing your right hand on your left ankle, lifting your left arm up to the sky to open the chest. And exhale, coming back down to center. From here, flipping your right toes towards the back of the mat, keeping your left foot kind of where it is. We're going to come into warrior two. So bring your arms in that capital T position, bending into your right knee. Your back foot should still be on the mat. Your left foot is on the mat, 85-degree angle. So now we're facing backwards. On an inhale, flipping the right palm to the sky. Exhale as we reach our right palm up to the sky and placing our left hand on our upper thigh. Your gaze can follow your right hand as we reverse our warrior. On an exhale, placing your right forearm on your right thigh, swing your left arm across your body to reach long. So now you have one diagonal from your left fingertips to your left toes to extended side angle. And you should feel this nice stretch in your the sides of your stomach. On an exhale, bring your hands back to warrior two and bending into that front knee, your right knee. We're still facing the back of the mat. On an inhale, straighten your right leg. Perhaps you want to bring in your left foot in about 12 inches, about a foot. On an inhale, keeping both legs straight. On an inhale, shift forward. And on an exhale, tipping your right to warrior two. Again, left hand at the front of the mat, left foot is bent. Straightening your front leg, bring your right foot in about a foot or 12 inches. On an inhale, shift forward, both legs are straight. On an exhale, tipping your left foot to your left shin, opening up the chest, reaching your right arm to the sky as we come into triangle pose. Your gaze can be towards your hands. And on an exhale, coming back into warrior two, bending in that front knee, the left knee. On an exhale, cartwheeling your hands down, you're now facing the front of the mat, stepping back for Vinyasa, or coming to meet us in downward dog. Then inhale, lifting your right leg to the sky. On an exhale, bring your right knee to your right wrist, releasing it down, untucking your back toe, or coming into a half pigeon. So again, you have the option to stay here, and we'll be here for about 2 minutes. So you have the option to stay with your hands underneath your shoulders. If you want a little bit deeper stretch, you may want to come on your forearms. And perhaps you are feeling really good and you don't want to hoard any energy or anything from yourself. So reach long and come into a sleepy pigeon, placing your third eye on the mat. Wherever you are today, again, we'll be here for about 2 minutes. So just releasing into this stretch. So you should feel your hip opening on the right side. This stretch shouldn't be painful. It should feel really, really good, especially if you perhaps sit down a lot all day for work, or perhaps you do activities where we're not really stretching, no matter what you do. Our hips hold a lot of energy and a lot of pain, so it can feel really good to stretch these out. Perhaps you might want to, we're going to hold it for just under 30 more seconds. So maybe you want to get a deeper stretch here, or perhaps you want to release a bit of the stretch wherever you are today. And no matter where you are, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhaling to open the chest here. And on an exhale, tucking the back toes. Stepping back to a downward dog. And we'll actually take the same stretch on the left side. So on an inhale, lifting your left foot to the sky. And on an exhale, bending your left knee, bringing that to your left wrist. Releasing the right toes. And again, you can opt to keep your hands underneath your shoulders the whole time if that's most comfortable for you. Or you want to come on your forearms. Or perhaps you want a sleepy pigeon, reaching long and bringing your forehead down to the mat. No matter where you are. And one side may feel a little bit more tense than the other. That's totally normal. So breathing here, breathing into the stretch, no matter where you are. And again, we'll be here 2 minutes. So no matter where you are, making sure you're comfortable and your body is comfortable. Breathing into the stretch, focusing on your breath. So one thing we need to remember at Aparigraha is that, not all resources are abundant. Time and money are not abundant. However, what we do have a lot of, that we all have a lot to give, which is kindness, love, empathy, and they always come back. So if you love yourself or you give out love, it'll always come back to you.
Saturday night, like Grace of traffic cause you have to stay up working late at a job you hate and fix your makeup in the dirty bathroom. No more love in the dark clouds. Know what you gotta do.
We have just under a minute left in the stretch, so maybe you want something a little bit deeper, or maybe you want to release the stretch a little bit wherever you are. Feeling it open up your left hip here. And try to keep your breath, like as you inhale into your hip. Bring your breath in there. Inhaling and exhaling into that part of your body.
And all the things that I know that your parents don't, they don't care like I do. Nowhere like I do. Nowhere like I do. Cause I care about you. There's nowhere I'd rather be than right here around you. I care.
And no matter where you are, slowly bring your hands underneath your shoulders. On an inhale, lift up to open your chest. And on an exhale, tucking your back toes, stepping back into downward dog. It may feel good to walk it out here. When you're ready, coming to a seated position on your mat. Easy seat. From here, we're actually going to keep our left foot underneath, and we'll place our right leg right on top. So your shins are almost parallel here. It may be hard for you, so if it's hard for you, you can reach your right leg long, and then keeping your left shin, tucked in, keeping your left foot to your right leg. If you can get here, on an inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, and on exhale, folding forward. This is our double pigeon, so you can reach long. You can tiptoe your fingers out. And again, this is a never hip opener. And as you tiptoe your fingers out, you may feel too like a nice stretch in your triceps and biceps. And we'll be here for just over a minute. So no matter where you are, breathing in. As you breathe in, try to lengthen your spine and fold forward. And slowly walking your hands back. We'll swap the legs. So bring your right foot under. If you straighten your right leg earlier, straighten your left leg. Bring the soles of your right leg to your thigh. If you are taking double pigeon, holding your leg on top. So now your left leg's on top, and we'll inhale the arms up to the sky and exhale, fold forward. Reaching your fingertips long. And as you breathe, try to walk your fingertips a little bit further, breathing into the stretch. Think of your body, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold forward. So if you have your left legs, if you straighten with one leg, trying to reach for those toes, and inhaling, exhaling down. As you inhale, exhale, try to lengthen the spine, fold forward. Slowly walking your fingertips back. You can straighten your legs out in front of you and give them a little wiggle. And we're going to place our feet flat on the floor, knees up to the sky. Bring your feet about hip width apart. Trying to bring your glutes as close to your heels as you can. And lay on back. We'll take a quick bridge. So again, trying to bring your heels close to your glutes. Reaching with your hands, trying to reach those heels. On an inhale, lifting your glutes up to the sky. Lifting those quads. Interlacing your fingers underneath. Again, making sure your feet are hip width apart. Taking a few breaths. So you feel your hips kind of open here in a different sensation. On an exhale, release your hands, release your glutes. You can knock your knees together, windshield wash side to side. And we'll take that one more time. So again, placing your feet flat on the floor. Heels close to your glutes. Trying to reach your heels with your hands. On an inhale, lifting your glutes high to the sky. Interlacing your fingers underneath. Lifting your back off the floor, your upper back, and your neck is still on the mat. Breathing here. And exhale, releasing down. You can windshield wipe your knees again here. And bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. We'll now take a supine twist. So on an exhale, bring your right knee and bring your knees over to the right. Practicing your arms or bring them to a capital T as you open up the chest here. Trying to keep both shoulders on the floor. If for some reason one shoulder is on the floor, using a pillow or maybe a block to help with that. Your head can be the same direction or opposite direction, however you want to stretch today. Bring your head back to center. Bring your knees back to center. Give yourself another hug as you let your knees drop to the left side. Again, cactusing or bring the hands to a capital T. Bring your head, whatever you did to the other side. Taking a few breaths here, trying to keep both shoulders on the mat. Releasing your head back to center. Bring your knees in for one last hug. You could take any final pose here, whatever you need. If you need a happy baby waterfall, whenever you're ready, coming to meet in Shavasana. So extending your legs long, your toes can turn out, your legs can open out. Bring your hands by your side, palms to the sky, closing your eyes as we go into our final and most important pose of class, Shavasana or horse pose. So focusing on your breath here in the next couple of minutes as we enter this pose. Slowly starting to touch each finger with your thumb, feeling sensation back in your hand, starting to wiggle your toes, feeling a sensation come back to the body. Reaching your arms long above your head to take a good morning wake up stretch. Slowly waking up the body from Ashavasana. And using your right arm as a pillow, coming over to the right side into a fetal position. And slowly coming up when you're ready to a seated position, keeping your eyes closed. Bring your hands to heart and center. So thank you for joining me today in your practice. I wanted to leave you a quote from Rodney Yee. The places where you have the most resistance are actually the places that are going to be the greatest areas of liberation. So sometimes if we challenge ourselves, we can overcome and move forward. Thank you for joining me today. The divine light in me bows to the divine light in each and every one of you. Namaste.